So last week, a story broke that I touched on very briefly in Newswave before I had to leave for several days to go to the hospital and all of this. And it was a story I wanted to come back to after I was back and in the full swing of things. And that is finally happening. So we can take a look now at how 2023, like more than a year from now, is going to be very, very different looking when it comes to releases for that holiday period, as it looks like for the first time in nearly 20 years, we're going to have a pretty big spot that's just left to fill because there won't be a Call of Duty game there. Guys, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawnwave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. So technically, there will be a Call of Duty game there, as of course, we'll have a new Call of Duty game this year from Infinity Ward. And I would assume they're going to work to support that with new content and events, all of this. And there's also talk about there maybe being a new free-to-play game, but let's go over where exactly this is coming from. We can see this over on The Verge. It's a tweet from Jason Schreier. It says, for the first time in 2 decades, Call of Duty will skip a year. Activision has delayed 2023's game made by Treyarch to 2024. Sources tell Bloomberg it's a shocking move that will have a massive impact on the franchise and the industry. Jason Schreier goes on further to clarify a new premium Call of Duty game has come out every year since 2005. Next year's offerings will include a free-to-play game as well as content for Warzone 2 and 2022's Modern Warfare. We're kind of expecting to see Warzone 2 later on this year, so there's still going to be stuff releasing out of Activision when it comes to Call of Duty. Just looks like the premium yearly Call of Duty that we basically expect every single year, like without fail. Like I said, for almost 2 decades, which on its own is very impressive because while people look at Call of Duty and they're like, oh, it's another Call of Duty game, it takes a lot of work and effort and like combined effort from tons of developers. And as we've seen, studios basically being turned into support studios for like Sledgehammer or Treyarch or Infinity Ward to get this thing out. So now there's going to be a spot where maybe some larger publishers next to Activision Blizzard realize, hey, there's a spot open for a brand new premium game. And I kind of thought about this a bit. Sure, Call of Duty will still do very well in the MPDs. As we saw, Vanguard, while it seemed that Activision Blizzard were disappointed, there was an SEC filing that said it basically came in below expectations. I mean, Vanguard just wasn't that compelling. It's that situation where with Call of Duty, I noticed this, and kind of Battlefield, we go to a certain time period, like it was World War II, right, for Vanguard. But previously we'll have gone there with other iterations, and then we're like, okay, now we kind of want to go back to a different time period, maybe somewhat futuristic. We sit there for a couple of iterations. Then we're like, you know what? We kind of want to go back to like World War I. So we sort of move around these time periods, and unfortunately, it looks like Activision with Vanguard went just 1 year too long, I would say, for kind of the World War time period. Now, they do, of course, move around with these different studios. I just think people were looking at, like, Vanguard, and they're like, I feel like we've played this Call of Duty a bunch of times before this. Now, we kind of had that thought before, but when you go from things like Modern Warfare, for example, or any of the Black Ops games to Vanguard, you're like, kind of just want to play the other ones instead, which probably makes sense as to why the previous year's Call of Duty was right below Vanguard in the MPD sales charts. But I mean, Vanguard still topped the charts. It's Call of Duty. It's going to do that. But in a vacuum where you just put all the Call of Duties, yeah, it looks like Vanguard came in below expectations. Probably still sold 20 some odd million copies or whatever. But think about that for a second. Now, without the big premium Call of Duty game there's going to be a pretty big spot that maybe an EA, right, a Take-Two, Ubisoft can attempt to fill. And that leaves some interesting possibilities. Now, sure, you might have Ubisoft come in and just say, you know what, this is a great spot. 2023, I mean, we still have like almost 2 years to plan this out if you haven't already been thinking about this, to put a new Assassin's Creed in, right? That seems pretty straightforward. Hey, maybe you have Take-Two show up and they're like, all right, let's get Grand Theft Auto 6 out there. Although I feel like Grand Theft Auto 6, it can just launch whenever. Doesn't matter. It's gonna take over the internet as soon as that first trailer drops. Then it's just a massive hype train all the way until release. But what if, like, we have EA, right? And they look around, they're like, well, we're probably not going to have a new Battlefield ready. They'll be updating 2042 for a long time. Like, it needs updates. But maybe they go, hey, Respawn has some of those Star Wars games they're working on. Might drop one of those in there. Or I think, just kind of going out on a limb, that's a great time to attempt a new Titanfall. I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, it's probably not going to happen. They don't seem as interested in the series now with Apex Legends doing fairly well for EA, so why would they develop a brand new big Titanfall game? Hey, it's a good time to do it and see if Titanfall 3 can actually sell. I mean, there wouldn't be a Battlefield, we believe anyway, launching there, and there wouldn't be a big premium Call of Duty game. Sure, Ubisoft may try to push something out next to it, but I feel like when it comes to shooters, Titanfall has a lot to offer, and that would probably be its best shot because you're not going to have many years where there won't be a brand new big Call of Duty game. But that's the biggest effect we're going to see here in really the first time in, like I said, 20 years where there's no Call of Duty, big premium Call of Duty game there, that you would see publishers maybe scramble and accelerate plans for development around a specific large intellectual property that they have. I don't think it would affect Nintendo because Call of Duty's never been on their platform anyway, so it's just business as usual for them. But we know Microsoft was careful about Halo Infinite's release date because they didn't want it to be too close to something like Call of Duty. So maybe Microsoft tries launching something there since they won't be a Call of Duty. Maybe Sony taps one of those live service games that kind of look like they're lining up to be some sort of online shooter. Not necessarily a SOCOM, but maybe a brand new IP that they look to establish. So there's a lot of possibilities here. And I know it feels like it's forever away, but we get through 2022, all of a sudden we're into like early 2023, and then you would expect the marketing campaigns to start up around whatever these companies have planned for a holiday without a Call of Duty. But let me know what you guys think about all of this down below, with Call of Duty foregoing its typical annual release, and hey, maybe that'll have a good effect on the overall release of Call of Duty going forward. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.